What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome to another Monday live stream. My name is Guillaume, and I'm always happy to see you guys. So, what do you think? I changed a couple of things on the setup. New video effect, new setup for streaming. Not new microphone, but pre-show low time this time. Tell me what you think about it. Is it a good idea? Is it not a good idea? Tell me if you hear me, because apparently the other day when I started the stream, you guys did not hear me. Like I cannot hear myself right now in my headphone for some reason. Like it's never working. Those live stream stuff are not. Oh, there you go. I cannot hear it because I did not monitor the music. You hear me? I'm hearing myself now. I'm hearing the background music. Same as you guys. Welcome. What's up, Robert? Or Rob, should I say. What's up, Andy? Good to see you. Good to see everybody that joined in today. What do you think of the new color scheme? I changed stuff a little bit in the background. Let me know if it's better, worse. I always try to improve the video production of the channel a little bit every time. You know, it's getting better. Man. Rob, I need to tell you something. I'm trying now to work on the software that Patrick developed. Kind of for me, but not really for me, but kind of because I asked him if it was possible, and he said, yeah, let me do this, and he developed the software, and I know that you render it for Mac. I'm slowly changing my setup to work with WWC, which is a software from Patrick Genmaillot. If you don't know who Patrick is, go visit his website, x32ram.com, x32ram.com. He's got cool software that go with the Wing, with the X32, with Reaper. Basically, he unlock his software unlock more feature that the console cannot do on its own. So because you're running some software on the side, you can have the button trigger some other action to a computer. I don't know if I make sense, but to me, what I'm gonna do is instead of changing my camera like this. Oh yeah, didn't show you that. What's up? That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight. Basically, new software. Uh-oh, where am I? Did I broke it? Ah, damn, I think I break it. No, I'm there. Okay. So, definitely not perfect. Hey, what's up? Hey, hello. I know this one's working, but okay. Probably not as good as it could be. It's my first time. Be gentle. So, okay, I was there. But now I'm transparent. I have the option to appear as a transparent guy in a corner of the console, and I can have my hand around and not really show you thing. It's needs to be worked on, but I think it's better than having just me blocking like the corner of the screen. So we'll see what happened with that. Chris, welcome. Glad that you finally made it to a live show. Always a pleasure to have some people and some new people around. What's up? Is it Matt? I don't remember. I think it's Matt from Ghana. What's up, Andy? Stan's Recording Studio, what's up, dude? How are you doing, my friend? Always a pleasure to have a new member or member to the channel. So if you let me do the plug right now. If you guys want to support me in what I do and want to help the channel keep growing and me reinvesting money into it every time, you can support me by becoming a member or a super member of the channel. Member are just there to support me. Poland, Matt, what's up? What's up, Poland? What's up, Matt? If you want to support me, become a member. If you want to have help with your console and you want to have little more stuff than others, become a super member of the channel. Every super member every month get 1 hour of chat with me over video conference call, so we can troubleshoot your stuff. We can discuss some idea, if something that can help you. If you think this is your jam, join the channel as a super member and send me an email and we can set up an appointment. You know the drill. What's up, Arizona? We reached the time of the year where you don't want to be in Arizona anymore, right? It's going to start to get really warm out there. STEM Studio's been busy working with the wing with a Queen tribute band. Got myself an M32C as a backup. Yeah, I'm running the X32 core. Also, for monitor, actually, I'm using a Split Snake and running it as a monitor. I think it's a really good option. Let me fiddle with the light a little bit. That way I'm going to look less shiny. That's always a problem when you have bald guys to light up. It's like I'm basically reflecting light from here and I look like I have a white spot on my head. You know. So what you guys want to talk about? Because today, nothing planned. No new firmware. I did not add time to study the newest release, the new beta version of the software. I did not fire up. Actually, I did fire up the console this weekend. I had a really cool acoustic show that I did with my friend Simon. And we did a really small acoustic, 8 microphone, or actually 8 preamp, and not even preamp. Most of the stuff was line in, but 8 input channel, preamp input, 6 channel, acoustic show, and I brought the wing with me, but I did not play around with any of the new feature, so did not have time to learn that stuff. And by request, okay, let me get that out of the way. By request by some of you guys for the next firmware, and I'm talking to you, Rolf, and other people who complain about this. When the next firmware is going to get released, I'm not going to cover it right away. I will do some video on it, explaining every feature, so that way I'm going to learn it. It's not going to be a struggle for you to watch me go through that stuff. Or maybe I will do like a private member stream with the new firmware release, and that way we can learn that stuff together. Because apparently when I'm doing live first look, people are not happy about it. You guys don't like that I go through and I don't know anything that's been updated. When I get the update, I'm as surprised as you when it comes to new stuff, or I don't have all the information. So because it's pissing a lot of people off and I don't seem to know, or you guys think that I don't seem to know where I'm going with this, I'm going to skip the next one and do some research on it and do a much further video, and more in-depth video about it, maybe a week or two after. So for those of you who wait for the update, we can maybe do that 2 weeks after it's going to be out or more. And we'll see how that goes. We'll see if you guys enjoy it more, or you really want to have a stream really, really fast right away. Hey, new member, welcome. Welcome, Matt. Really happy to have you as a member. Thank you very much. Always love the support you guys give me. It's awesome. Thank you. Danny said, has anyone noticed or know why I cannot sidechain a compressor or gate from a bus on the wing? Actually, I know the answer to this one. I tried to do that. Let's go in a channel here. Sidechain, gate. Is it gate or compressor? Or whatever. It can only trigger by channel because... Am I there? I need to work on that stuff. Because this is not just a side chain. It's actually a audio path that the signal has to take from this channel and be sent into this gate or compressor. So it require a... Can I be on the screen, please? Nope. it require a channel. It require a audio channel to do this. And as far as I know, the Wing architecture is using all the available audio channel or audio path available in the system. So they use some of the channel for key source, but not allowing bus is because of audio limitation. They just reach out the maximum amount of in and out that the console can give. That's my understanding of it. I'm not 100% sure of the reason why, but asking question around, I was told that because there's no more audio line or audio path available in the architecture of the console. Everything is just used. We would need to sacrifice something else for that, like same reason why we only have 24 user channel or user send. Actually, if I go in the routing menu, output user signal. The reason we only have 24 user signal is because it's taking a audio path in the signal and in the system for the signal to be used as a audio user. So everything is being used by something else, or all the lines available are used by something else. So this is why we cannot have 48 audio channel. So the workaround I've been using is to eat a matrix for such. How do you do that with a matrix? Or you can use the aux channel, yeah. Because I believe, let me check that out. I believe you can use an aux channel. I'm gonna use aux 8 here. And can I set the source for that as a bus? Yeah, you could sacrifice a channel if you have the option to use a bus as the source for that channel, so that way it will be your bus, or it should be your bus. I think that will be the way to go. So just give me 1 second here. I'm gonna try to adjust the background remover here. I think it will track a little better. No. Is it tracking a little better? No, it's not. Hold on. Is it tracking a little better now? It's adjustment. Let's see how that goes. Is it better? Okay, more artifact, but you guys can see me. I think it's better than nothing. So I believe, yeah, this is the reason why. So the workaround will be to use a bus like we have right now. Use a bus on your channel source, and you use channel 8 or aux channel 8 to do such. And I think it will work. I think it's the workaround that we need to do because of the, I don't want to call it physical limitation, but processor limitation of available in and out. I think that would be the way to go. What firmware am I running? Because with the latest, they added with the latest release, they added the ability to key from a matrix, but not from a bus. I'm running actually the unreleased version. I'm running 13.8 right now, and I don't see it. Hold on, let me check again. I don't know where you see matrix for that. You can always do it with a matrix, but I'm not see how you can do this with a matrix on right now. So Chris is asking, I have a FOH wing and a broadcast wing. So lucky you, you have two. And would like to broadcast to also trigger talkback to the musician during Sound check. What is the best route for this? Really good question. I think... Can you do a bus send for the talkback? Like a shout mixer. I know I didn't experiment with that a lot, but I think there's a way now to have a shout mixer. So if you're doing... Okay, I think the way to go, and I could be wrong about this. My finger is not showing. This is really weird. I think the way to go will be to send out a matrix and use a bus as an input on that matrix. If I'm moving my beautiful coffee mug from here, and I go select the matrix, I'm gonna use matrix 1 here. We're gonna take a look at this. On the matrix side, no, that's main one. I want matrix. You can have the solo bus for a shout mixer, but what you could do is use a bus. Hold on, can't you use a bus as an extra channel in the matrix? Hold on. Okay, well. Ow. Sorry. Well, my workaround for this would be to use a matrix, use 2 channel, use 1 channel with an aux. A channel, aux channel as a bus source. So I'm gonna use channel 1 now. I'm gonna put the source, let's say main 1. Can I do this, or will that create feedback? I'm using right now A8. The main out for you it will be a bus. Use a bus, select a bus that you would create a mix in there and send that out into your matrix. So if I select my matrix, I can come here. I can use. Can I use a channel? You cannot even use the aux. Okay, yeah, I can. Okay, so I could do this. I could enable this, and I can go tap point. Hey. So right now I'm sending my channel 8 from my bus or my main out from aux channel 8 or channel 48. I'm gonna call it channel 48, even if it's A8, because it gets confusing with aux and bus and everything. So I think the best way to go would be to use channel 48, aux 8, as a send. And in that channel, you insert a group where you take all your talkback and you send them all. And if you want to have a separate choice for your other console or other thing, you can create either a channel for him. And can you route just the ASEBU? No, you can. You could use another channel, let's say A6, that you use for your broadcast, guys. And this is your aux, your talkback from your broadcast console that you can send into that direct out for that matrix. And you have an option. Plus, you could send also other stuff into the bus. Or basically what you could do is just create a bus and use it as a talkback bus for everybody and just send that out to everyone. I think this is also a workaround, but really good question. There's definitely more than one way to do this. You just need to figure out how and where you want that signal to go or not. But yeah, many way to do this thing. It's just a matter of how many channels that you have available. If you do not, you can use other stuff. I'm not in front of the wing right now, but I know that one of my videos I'm doing a Docker setup with a compressor on a bus with that compressor keyed from a matrix. Okay, I'd be really curious to see that because I don't know how it can happen. Yes, on bus you can use matrix. Okay, on a bus, not a channel. So if we go just for fun, try to follow around. If we go on a bus, is there a way to have a matrix? There you go. On the matrix, you can have the matrix or the main out, not only the matrix, but and the bus, not the channel on a bus, but you can have all the other bus, main out, and matrices to trigger a sidechain on a bus. Plus you have the 8 auxes here, the 8 auxes, 4 main, 8 matrices, 8 auxes to use as a key source on a compressor or on the gate. I would say on the compressor because there's no gate in the bus. I think it should, because I'm used to use a lot of really cool stuff. Nothing. No, there's no gate here. But yeah, you can do it on a bus with bus matrices and main out. Really interesting. I didn't know that one. I thought you would be able to trigger from a channel, but apparently not. Because you guys probably know about my oscillator trick that I'm doing, triggering a oscillator with a bass drum with a really low frequency. That way I can have like really low impact bass drum, or I'm using that with Stompbox or Cajon, or people that want to trigger really, or faking a kick, I should say, with another device like a Stompbox, a Cajon, and everything. I'm just using the oscillator with a gate on it to trigger, or that being triggered by a device that replaced the bass drum, and I can get some really like cool low end with pretty much no work. And usually it's easier to do this than trying to EQ a Stompbox or a Cajon to get really like fat kick. Actually, do I have that on right now? Yes, I do. So this is my this is what I call my sub kick. I'm using an oscillator as the source, tone at like 50 hertz. We'll see with the wing EQ. I'm gonna remove the gate, and I'm using the channel from a device from anything, Stompbox, Cajon, and I'm using that to trigger a tone. Right now it's set around really high. It should be closer to like 50 hertz. I'm around 50 hertz using this. There you go. And I'm using the gate with a sidechain to make that open with every hit. Could be on a snare drum with a pink noise. That's really cool. Could be with a bass drum and a 50 cycle tone, 50 hertz tone or anything. And I'm using that to amplify or faking a bass drum sound. Really cool way to do this and to create something that is not there. Create low frequencies that do not exist in the device that you have on stage. So in reality, I didn't need to eat the matrix. Somehow I missed that the bus were an option. Okay. I used to use an X32 was to bring a delay in over a pair of regular channel with a Docker applied to those channel, keyed off of the delay bus. That could work. The setup allow really nice, a 2290 TC Electronics style dynamic delay effect. Really nice. There is no direct out on channels to key with. Yes, it's not really a direct out. You can just select, like here, when I'm on a channel. Right now I'm on channel 12. I can use any other channel. I don't know if it's pre or post. That's a really good question, but I think it's pre. I can use, well, it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna adjust the threshold correctly for that. But you can select a channel as a source to key in on a channel, on a bus. Now I'm on bus 9. I can select a bus itself, a main out, a matrices, or an aux channel. Keep in mind that we have the aux channel. That could be a really cool workaround if you want to trigger something on a bus. You can double that into an aux channel, or just use the aux channel to make that a trigger option. But yeah, this is the option available for that. And just on the main out, it's like a bus. So on the main out, it's that. What's happening with the key in on the auxes? On the auxes, do you have a key in? You don't have a key in on the aux channel. When I'm talking about the aux channel is a 6 through 8. So we do not have any key in on these channels. Just like you cannot route directly out without the user signal. Actually, you can route raw signal. You can route the preamp out to something, but you would need, if you want to have the effect or any processing that is applied to the channel, you would need to use a user signal. Other than that, is just using the preamp, using the source as a trigger. But can you do? No, you cannot do that. You cannot use a source. So you cannot have an external source as a trigger. But not the channel. Yeah, you're right. Definitely right, my friend. So, any other question that you guys have? Because this is really interesting. I really like where we just went with this thing. I didn't know all the in and out about the bus sidechain, because this is not something that I've done a lot so far. Maybe, well, actually, I've done some of the things that I used to use bus for, but now I can do it just on the channel. Like when I used to use do I have that in? Do I have that in? No, I don't. But now, okay, let me show you. On guitar, usually what I do is to use a dynamic EQ. Oh, actually, I set it up already because I spoke about this before. Usually, I used to have a bus with some kind of EQ on it or a ducker. Back in the day, I used to do that with a ducker. And when the singer was singing loud enough, it was ducking out the guitar 3 dB in my mix. I was using this as an auto mix. Now what I do is I'm using an EQ, a dynamic EQ on my guitar, but I'm using it on a channel. I'm not using this with a bus, and I'm only scooping the mid. So honestly, I just use this in the order that it is. And what I mean is I'm sending that out to musician in their ear, so that way the guitar player can take less of the vocal and the vocalist can take less of the guitar, and they manage themselves. The mid-range, when the singer is singing, is opening up for the singer. Everybody hear the vocal. The guitar player still hear himself, but a little less in the mid. When the vocals stop, the mid come back in. The guitar player is hearing himself. Get what I mean here? So it's been my trick for mixing guitar, heavy guitar, and vocal live for a year. It was such a lifesaver in some situation, especially when the sound system is not really reproducing well. But yeah, really easier on smaller boxes or not a loud enough system. You can get away with having less manipulation to do to get the same amount of vocal and guitar, and they kind of auto mix themselves a little bit. Use it on reverb bus too. Yeah, that could be an option. What I used to use bus for is for gang vocal. When everybody would go into a bus, so I can compress them together. So when people are doing back vocal, it's fine. When they sing together, it's just everybody but a little lower because I compress that so it doesn't jump out of the mix really loud. But I got nice background vocal, and what you could do is not taking the singer into that group and make it compress the other vocal when he's singing. So that way everybody's doing like a pad, like ma. It will go if the singer jump in and try to say word over that, over like a vocal pad where people just like sustain a note. Like all this is a good one for you, church guy. If you have a choir, send your choir into a bus, put a dynamic EQ on it, and use your lead singer or other lead instrument to make the mid scoop out, so that way it will create some space in the frequency to have your lead singer go over this. When he stops singing, the mid come back up, and your choir is like really loud again. Your lead singer go in, mid scoop out, and that's an auto mix. It's kind of, if it's done right, if you don't overdo it, but if it's done right, like 3 dB, 3 to 6 dB, depending on how much you need to cut that down, it's probably going to be a good lifesaver for you guys with a small PA. Have you heard about a new Wave Super Rack Performer? No, not really. I'm waiting for a wave card for the wing. Actually, I will ask you guys. A lot of people are waiting for a wave card for the wing, but the question I need to ask you is why? Because seriously, there's a lot of stuff in the wing right now. There's a lot of option, and I don't see anything that is really missing that actually, I don't know if Wave can do this, but the only thing that I would like to do is to have tone gate added to the wing. I think they could do it from the processing inside. I think they have enough space in the gate section to do actually exactly what I'm doing with my oscillator trick. I think they can build that into a gate plugin, and we could use this on kick, snare, with a paint noise, and toms, and every drum, actually. I think we could do this. It could be a plugin option. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I do not have leverage over what's happening with the console at all. Please get that out of your mind. But this is the only thing that I think I want to have that is missing from the wing. After that, Wave Super Rack, Wave Rack. Side note here, I think now you can build your own Wave server, and you can get some like really used and cheap hardware server and make your own. But is it gonna work the expansion card on it? I don't know. Seriously, I don't know. I think you can use Wave Server, Super Rack, and laptop over USB instead of SoundGrid and server. Well, actually, you can probably do that over Dente, but the question is, what is the latency? What is the latency? I don't care how much stuff you can insert on a console. If you have latency over 5 milliseconds, it's unusable for live. If we're talking about studio stuff, we can have as much latency as we want. It doesn't matter. But for live, anything that total in and out over 5 milliseconds, to me, is unacceptable. I could not perform personally with anything over than 5 milliseconds of delay. Maybe 10. But it should not. If it's adding 10 milliseconds of delay plus the in and out of the console, plus it's going to be too much. You won't be able to perform correctly with that. Pancho, what is ToneGate? ToneGate actually is a plugin that I first discovered in Reaper. Funny enough, if you guys know who Glenn Fricker is, he showed the ToneGate inside of Reaper, because I sent a message to him when he was talking about bass drum. I send him a message, say, hey, have you tried the tone gate stuff? And 2 weeks after, in this video, his mind was blown because he discovered the tone gate stuff. The tone gate is exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm taking a channel like this one, and I call it the subkick. I'm sending out an oscillator with a frequency around 50 hertz, depending on the device. I try to match the pitch because I don't know for you guys, but I'm hearing the pitch really, really low when it comes to frequency. To tone, like oscillator and stuff like that, I can hear the pitch until like 40 hertz. I try to match the pitch with the frequency that I'm using on this oscillator, and I'm using a gate over that. The gate is there to block the tone, and when I have something like a bass drum hit, like I'm doing right now, I have the gate set to a key that's opening up for over 1 millisecond, holding for 15 millisecond, and maybe the release should be longer, should be like 150. And that's creating a of 50 hertz. This in Reaper is called a tone gate. You take a tone, an oscillator, and you use something else to trigger it. But in Reaper, you can put that as an inline plugin. So you set the key source to be itself, and every time that you have, let's say, a bass drum hit, as soon as you go over the threshold, it's gonna trigger the tone, or open up the gate and let the tone go through and shut it back off. This way, you can add extra low end to bass drum. You could also use, I'm doing it on snare with a pink noise into a reverb. I'm creating a snare bottom sound using a pink noise going 100% wet into a reverb that create that tsh, tsh. Yeah, it's called tone gate. If you look into Reaper tone gate, it's there. You can trigger a pink noise, white noise, or a fixed frequency oscillator. And I think they even add at some point dynamic frequency that will change the pitch. You can change how much the pitch is going to be affected by the source. So let's say that you have a drummer that, because the pitch on the bass drum is changing by the way the drummer hit with the bass drum or the skin with the stick. The amount of pressure is going to make the skin go in and out of a certain pitch. So you can match that with that tone gate. So this is a really interesting feature, and it's been done for a long time. The most known person to use it is the engineer who did the Megadeth album Peace Cell. He had, back in the day, analog. He was using a physical gate to do this with a synth. He was using a synthesizer with a really low note. Found the one that was matching the bass drum on that album, had that synth played, and was using a gate with a physical source sidechain to make that open and set the gate so it would send out burst of 50 hertz to match the bass drum, really not really quietly, but at the right spot in the mix so that you don't hear it, but it's there. And he did also the same thing with a pink noise generator or a white noise generator, I don't really remember, for the snare into reverb. So he was blending in some pink noise, white noise with every snare hit to make that shine a little more. I'm using that trick to make my snare sound stereo, meaning that I'm using a channel on the wing. I think it's this one actually, or should be. This should be a gate, and using the gate, channel 2, which is usually my snare, let the gate open. Actually, it should be a full-on gate, range all the way down. The gate would open, send that into a reverb to make that tail out. So every time that the snare is going to get a hit, it will open up that gate, let that white noise or pink noise, depending on how you want to use it, just into the reverb and just add that, blend that with your snare. This is a studio trick that's been done for many years, but now we have the option to do this live, and it's kind of like triggering or adding to the original signal without replacing it. It's not simple replacement, is I want to use the right word here, it will be enhancement of drums that way. I have 2 videos about that if you guys want to take a look at this. I have a video where I show the bass drum trick, and I have a video where I show the snare trick, if you guys want to take a look at this after this live stream. Okay, now let's go back to the wave discussion. The latency with Dente native with M1 Mac is exactly 6.7 millisecond without a plugin. That would be a lot. Would the DN4816U offer better latency? That's a really good question. With a buffer of 32 samples. Also, USB is around 6-7 millisecond. Rob confirmed that no, the DN48 series has about the same latency. Stage Connect has 0.1 millisecond latency, so I guess the USB is the bottleneck. Yes, the USB will be the bottleneck on this one because conversion of signal, the processing on the computer will be what's adding the delay here. And this is the reason why people are buying a Wave card, because I don't know how they do that, but apparently the latency is like ridiculously low, like under like 1 millisecond from what I heard. I don't know how they achieve that. I don't know what kind of hardware acceleration they're using, but it's blazing fast, and that's the reason why you pay $400 for a card. Same as why you pay for the Dente card, because it's really good, reliable, and like 6 millisecond of latency in and out is a lot. My question is, do you divide that when you are just sending out of a console into, let's say, a PA? Let's say that your PA is Dente. Let's say that you're using the Yamaha stuff. If I go out of my console, or if I take a microphone over AES-50, send that in and send that out into a PA, is it 6.7 millisecond too? Because that's the limit of where in a PA would be fine, but for monitoring, it's the limit where you start to lose all the fun. I can set that here, right? There you go. Am I autofocused? Probably. That's fine. Doesn't matter. You guys don't need to see me in focus or not, right? Yeah, for monitoring, it's too much. Most of the time, now, I'm mixing a band where the singer has 2 floor monitor and an in-ear, and I'm delaying his in-ear by 6 milliseconds. Actually, I'm used to feet. Sorry, guys that live in Europe or everywhere else. I delay by 6 feet the distance from the monitor to his in-ear. That way, I just delay his in-ear 6-point-something milliseconds, 7 milliseconds, and roughly bring it back to where the physical monitor are, so it sound in phase with the monitor in the in-ear. Do that if you guys have singer that absolutely don't want to have 2 ears, if they are using a floor monitor and in-ears. Do that, do your delay, take some time to have them in their main position and figure out how far away is the monitor versus the in-ear, and delay the in-ear so you bring it back to where they are, where you're faking having them at the same distance. Definitely gonna help you and definitely gonna make them feel better, but don't go over 5 to 10 milliseconds. Actually, don't go over 5, honestly. 7 is as much as I would do. I try I tried the in-ear myself when I delayed that with the monitor, and sometimes I just bring the monitor up close because it starts to feel, when you're talking into the microphone, the latency starts to be felt, and you don't want that. So try to be as low latency as possible, because if you want to have one thing where you're going to hear me say that analog was superior to any digital option is latency. Latency do not apply in the analog world. If you are using only analog stuff, by the way, if you are using digital effect or digital compressor or digital, anything that has conversion in it has some kind of latency because there is signal transformation in there. But if you use only reverb, it's absolutely no problem. Absolutely right. Increase these milliseconds from the pre-delay. Exactly, because a pre-delay is exactly what latency is. So it delays the signal sent to the reverb or the output of the reverb. So you have dry signal into it. So it's been 45 minutes already. Wow. Where do you guys want to head out next? Is there anything else that we need to check out? I like it. We spend most of the time, on these live stream, we spend out time talking about anything, but now we're really focusing on the wing. I really like that. I really like the fact that we are bring it back to the original, because let me be honest with you guys. Recently, I don't know where I'm heading with the channel. This is why I'm not doing that many video on the wing. Not that I don't like the wing. The wing's not going to go away for now. It's going to be here for a long while. Not until ChatGPT replaces me on it. But I just don't know where I'm going with this, because I feel like I can see the end of the tunnel on the wing side. There will be firmware updates. But as far as I know, nothing major, as far as I know, is going to happen to the wing soon. I'm not expecting Wing V2 for a while, if there is. I'm not expecting a lot of new plugin for a while. I think right now it's more on make this thing viable, adding more option, like how to reset an EQ on the channel. Because right now the only way that you can reset an EQ is go here, go in the EQ, select another EQ, bring it back. It's a couple option, but here should be a reset all button, or in the bottom, or here, or wherever. But I think we should have as the next option in the EQ is just a reset all button. Thank you, Rolf. I think I'm heading the right way too. I want to diversify myself in the sense of my main focus personally have been live sound for years. I wish actually, what's up the Netherlands? I wish I actually started sooner to be more present on YouTube. I used to have a channel like before I erased everything in January of 2021, where I was posting maybe once or twice a year about some stuff, but I did not seriously invest myself into YouTube. I'm gonna take word for word what one of the YouTuber that I look up to said. If I knew what I know now, I would have started from day one back in 2009 doing YouTube, releasing the most crappiest video about anything that is related to what I do now. Back then, I was looking for live sound advice, for advice about console, about advice about monitoring, advice about whatever I'm doing right now. 10 years after that, I start to say, okay, YouTube is really gonna YouTube is really here for stay. I should start to do some video. And I started more and more video. I started to do the wing as soon as the pandemic hit in March of 2020. And I had the console, and that was the turning point. I said, I got the wing, there is no manual. I was not expecting a manual back then. I said, I'm gonna be the manual for this thing. I'm gonna be the user startup guide. And so far, I want to thank you all for subscribing to the channel for this reason. But now that I cover most of the bases, I did not cover everything. I know I still have a to-do list, and I'm looking at it for some time, and I see video on there, and I'm like, why did I not cover like the USB or the solo stuff, or that like basic thing that I did not cover? I know. I'm sorry. I did not cover everything. I'm gonna do everything eventually in the future if you give me some slack. But I want the channel to evolve. I want the channel to go further. I want to include more stuff in here. I want to have some product review. I want to involve some kind of sponsor at some point, because I need, if I need to spend more time on YouTube, I need to make it financially viable for me to keep investing in stuff. Like, maybe I'm gonna jinx it if I say it, but I'm gonna replace my main camera probably today. I probably have somebody to come pick it up later and see if I can get a better Handycam. I think it's gonna be better for my workflow. I try to involve, I try to push, I try to evolve, make it grow into something bigger. Everybody who subscribed as a member, thank you so much for doing so. You guys are a big support. My 3,000 plus people who subscribe to the channel and watch these live streams, thank you. The live stream get more and more view every day. The vlog are hard to do or hard to be interesting, because every time that I go out, and I'm doing between 2 and 5 shows a week, every time that I go out, I'm asking myself, oh, should I bring the camera? Should I do this? Should I? And I end up not doing it because I believe it's not that interesting of a content. I see the kind of vlog that are really catching on and the one that are not. If I'm not doing big festivals, I don't think I will bring my camera anymore, because if it's not impressive, if it's not a huge line array with $20 per side, it doesn't grab attention and people do not watch the vlog, honestly. And I try to minimize now what I do to more stuff on the console. I try to, well, I'm looking at the analytics of the video, and I try to see what you guys like, and I just don't know. Because some video where I explained a lot of in-depth stuff about the console, what I'm doing, how did I EQ this, how do I do that. After 5 minutes, I'm start to lose everybody. But if I show really good angle of like line array where I don't talk about it, people tend to watch this. Like the video that I did about the Behringer in-ear monitor, the copy of the 215. I'm gonna say it this way, the SD251. Last video I released. If you didn't see it, go check it out. Most of the people watched the unboxing of that video, but the most important things to me were the sound test. And most of the people do not watch the sound test. They look at the unboxing, look at the first test fit that I do, skip some parts, go watch the beginning of the sound test, and drop out. The video has like a curve Usually on YouTube, like it start like 100%, it drop really fast because people click on the video and move. It drop really fast around 50 to 60% of watch time. And after that, it stay for a while. People are skipping and it just go lower and lower and lower until you reach the end of the video. Nobody watched the end credit. If I analyze what you guys are watching, and I'm gonna say you guys because you're part of the crowd that watched this video, you're not interested about the same thing that I do. I did the unboxing of the in-ear just to show what was in the box, what you get for that money. People watch that. People do not watch the sound test and leave the video. So what do you want to see? Unboxing? That's not for me. If you want, there's a channel called Unboxing Therapy. Go take a look at that. Don't waste. I'm not gonna waste time to unbox some stuff here on the channel. Well, if some people want to pay me to unbox stuff, good, but I'm not gonna do it for free. So I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with the channel. I try to evolve. I try to understand what you guys want to see, that I want to show, that I want to do, spend time, because I've spent, like on the in-ear video, I spend okay, hold on. You got something, Pancho. No, it's probably the setting. Give me 1 second. Oh yeah, actually, I just set that up. Now I have my be right back scene. Be right back. Oh, is it working? Is it working? Oops. Big oops. Hold on. Be right back. Okay. It should be sharper now. I had the camera set on manual focus. So now, if I show my hand really close, you can see that my hand is in focus. And if I take it back, I'm now, yeah, okay. Because I filmed the show for a friend of mine. Well, actually, the show that I did on Saturday with my friend Simon, I filmed the show, and because it was really dark, I had to set the camera into manual focus mode, because otherwise it was always looking, trying to focus on some lights and stuff, and you know, a guitar was moving around and grabbed the headstock, and the singer become flooded, and so set up the manual, did a manual focus, leave it there. But for the channel here, I think I should leave it on autofocus. This is why I'm paying actually a lot of money for Sony stuff, because autofocus. Now the only thing that I changed is I had some filter, I had some vignetting in the image. If I'm take it off on my camera, can you see it right now? Now it's off, now it's on. I'm just like darkening up the corner like I'm doing on my videos. I have some color correction that is closer to what I usually shoot raw at, because let's go into over this. If I go in my filter option on OBS, it's gonna take a second. Let's have fun here. I'll show you the raw image. This is the raw image with no vignetting. This is the image that you used to see. Now I added the vignette, and I had a filter. Oops, my bad. I added a filter, color correction, like this one, just to make it pop a little more. A little bit of color correction, just to, you know, make it fancy. Okay, funny thing, Andy, I've done way more than 2 vlogs. I've done way more than 2 vlogs. If you only saw 2, it's fine, but I've did probably 10 or 12. and people do not watch most of them if it's not in the big setup. People are watching mostly the one where I show the wing with a L-acoustic PA, and the one that I did where I have a Midas Pro 2, and it's the big image of the Pro 2, the side of the Pro 2. It looks like a fucking... Oh, that one slipped out of my mouth. It looked like a Christmas tree. Wow. Usually, the first time that I swear on the channel, sorry. But yeah, I did. There's a playlist. There's a playlist on the channel if you want to see all the vlogs and stuff like that I've done. I have a playlist where I have my explanatory video of the tone gate, where I have the explanatory video of the snare and other stuff like that. But if you feel like you want to have, if you want to have fun, go check the vlog out. But most of them have like 150 view. There's some with 20,000. Like the one where I did the L-acoustic PA has like 20,000 view, and the one that I just released, or not that far off, like last month, where I have the Pro 2, and I explain a lot of things. Again, one of the vlog where I explain a lot of things, and people just jump those sections because I took time to explain exactly what I did, what the method that I used to check the PA, to listen to the room. And this is the part where I have less watch time in the video. It's like a big smiley face there. Like, people watch the sound check, watch my travel, watch my landing on the plane. Sound checks start to happen. People do not watch. I explain a lot of cool stuff that I did with the upright bass, where we installed a pickup on it. And it goes like out until the show come, where I show a part of the recorded set, recorded with my phone, so you have a rough idea of how it was sounding in the room, and the end credit, and people do not watch again. So I just don't know what you guys want to watch when I'm doing a vlog or when I'm doing a video. I try to understand that, and feel free to tell me what you guys like to see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm looking at the analytics of the video and I should not. Maybe I just not find the right crowd, or maybe the video was pushed to not the right crowd for me. Tell me, you guys are subscribed. Tell me what you want to see when I'm doing a vlog. What is the interesting thing? You want to see me struggle? You want to see me have a good time? Because I can show you both. I'm not afraid of say that I'm struggling and not everything is like unicorn and candy. I'm more than willing to tell you I'm having phasing issue with the PA. No matter what I do, it's not going to sound good tonight, because I do not have the weapon to fight my way with the mix. Okay, question from Vidish Raj here. How do you configure the wing for monitor mix? Do you run channel in post fader for bus? It depends. Most of the time, I run my channel. Actually, I'm going to show you here what I do. Ta-da! I'm gonna use my tap point. Usually not there. Usually it's pre-compression. Hey. What's going on here? Oh, I changed the tap point. Okay, my bad. So, usually, I'm going to show it on another... Hold on. There we go. I'm going to show it on another channel, one that I'm not using. Usually, my tap point is set to pre-compression. I'm using the gate, if I ever have one. I'm using the EQ that I send into the monitor. And after that, I send just after the EQ before compression. That way, I can have the signal coming in from the musician, EQ it, correct the EQ for it, because I want to correct the source, and then I use that to send out to monitor. Or, well, when I say monitor, it could be in-ear monitor, it could be a floor monitor, and I do not compress the signal going in there. The only time that I'm using post channel send, post fader send, should I say, is when I have something that I want to fade in and out, and I want it to fade for everybody. Like reverb And what I'm doing, my best example is dance shows. When I used to do high school dance shows, I was sending into the monitor on stage post faders, so that way if I needed to start the music, setting up the volume, adjusting the volume for different song, so it will be the same level in the room, it would adjust to the same percentage in the monitor, and if I had to fade out the song, I could just go like this, and I did not have any sound left on stage. Everything would just go like fading out together. I'm doing the same thing for reverb. If I'm sending out reverb to the musician, I'm using post fader, so that way if I turn it down or if I mute it, it will be muted for everybody and not just at the front of house. And they will not hear it still. So that's my approach when it comes to monitor. No compression or tap point. You know, when you have your tap point here, you can have a lot of option. I'm using pre-compression, tap point 4 by default. You can rearrange the block and it will change depending on how you set up that channel. But pre-compression for almost everything that musicians play, pre-compression, everything that is playback track, reverb, stuff that I want to fade in and out for everybody, I would just go post fader. That's been my approach for a long time, and it's paid dividend. That's all I'm gonna say. I hope that answered your question, my friend. Anybody else have something that he want to talk about? Sorry, Serge. To stream correctly with lots of option, you have the Blackmagic ATEM Mini Extreme, or SDI. The habit is great for your camera. I'm using actually a SDI. I'm using not SDI, HDMI card from Blackmagic, but I'm using a 4-input one, and I send my camera in there. So I'm doing everything in the box. I'm doing everything inside OBS because I can do some cool stuff like doing this. I could not do this on the ATEM as far as I know. Picture over picture with background removal. So if I want to do this live, it's not perfect. It's not tracking perfectly, but I think it's better than just having my full on image there. And I can also, play around with stuff pretty much live. If I want to, I could, make myself bigger. Say, hey, I'm bigger now. I grew up. I could do this without limitation on the OBS side. Sound tests are hard to visualize. It's really hard to transport what I do. Sorry, gotta go back to this camera. It's really hard to export what I do live into a visual medium like videos or stream. It doesn't translate really well, and I learn every day to adapt myself to this situation. And I'm getting better at streaming. I'm getting better at the studio stuff because apparently it's kind of the same thing, doing studio stuff or broadcast stuff, should I say. And it's really hard, but I'm struggling, and I try my best to make it more enjoyable for you guys every time with the channel, with the live stream, and I hope I'm going to get better content for you guys to watch. What about limiting on the mix out in in-ears? I do that sometimes, not on everybody. Usually it's singers that take their vocal really loud and have the mic like too far away, and at night they're gonna end up like getting closer and getting more volume and having the fader, like all the way up in their mix, and usually they end up clipping the output of their console mix, the input of their in-ear monitor, and they drive the pack really loud. So what I do is I send out a tone and I limit the mix at like -1 dB. So that way if somebody is stupid and create a mix where everything is just like all the way up, it doesn't distort at the output of the console as less as possible. But sometimes it does, and I have to go back and look at the mix and go like look at the bus and everything is clipping and go like, hey buddy, you have you have to turn that down a little bit. And I just like bring everything down until it doesn't clip the output, and eventually end up with a mix that doesn't clip anywhere. And a month after the singer has like put everything back up, and I need to just take everything and go like again, lower it again until I get a decent mix. But yeah, it's a safety. If you're using it, I'm not using it as a mastering tool. I'm using it as a protection, not the clip output of the console, receiver, transmitter of anything, or I should say transmitter, in-ear monitor transmitter. After that, you can have some limiting inside the belt pack itself. I know Shure and Sennheiser have those options to have a volume limiter on there. I never really used it, but it's there if somebody's like going way too loud. But I try to avoid these as much as possible and work with the musician to have a better mix that he can be less loud and not driving his pack to 5. Not the 5. 5 is the way to go, but I mean like 9 or 10 or all the way up. Yeah, used to keep overloading transmitter. This is what I'm doing too. Just so if something happened, if somebody pull a plug, like an acoustic guitar and it should not, and it's not mute, it's not going to destroy. It's going to send loud signal, but not clipping everywhere and maybe saving somebody's ear, because you have to be really careful when you're doing in-ear monitor. And I'm talking to everybody at large here. I'm not pointing at everybody, just you. When you are doing in-ear monitor, be careful, because you're sending signal directly next to the ear of a musician. Musician needs their ear to perform. Please be careful when you're sending out stuff. It's always easier to ask more of something. Be really protective of your musicians here, and it will give them a longer career and probably more time enjoying music with them. Any idea to get Cubase to scrub with the wing wheel? Timeline move without audio. That would be a really good question. But honestly, I don't know this one. By default, it's not like scrubbing the sound. It's just like scrubbing the cursor. You cannot like fast forward with the wheel. Because I never really used Cubase outside of the Dreamweaver Studio. If you guys didn't see that vlog, I got a vlog where I installed a wing in the studio in LA. So if you guys want to take a look at that, it's in my video list. Look under vlog. It's called, I don't know how it's called, but it's basically rebuilding a studio, building a studio, unused studio in LA, something like that. It's in my vlog list. Basically, go take a look. It's a wing in a studio setup. And I'm using Cubase there. I have a show file on there where I use the console channel as insert. So you can use the console channel strip inside Cubase. Really, really cool video. And a lot of time. I spent 3 days in that studio. Rewire everything. Amazing vlog. Thank you very much, Gordon. Thank you very much for the vlog. Cubase has a setting to scrub with or without audio. Jog do not sound. Yeah, the jog wheel itself is just like a jog wheel. It doesn't control anything. It's inside Cubase, right? So I think it's a Cubase option to scrub with or without audio. Really cool one, Rob here. Thank you very much for saving this one out. I was about to drop it, but you saved the day. Thank you. What about a video on Smart for setting up a sound system or tuning it up? I'm not really using Smart because I most of the time don't have time to set that up. It's not often that I can be there, the day after or a few hours before the band to take half an hour to set up the microphone and set up the session and do an analyze and moving the mic around. Usually I just show up with the band at like 1 in the afternoon. We have the stage from 1:30 to 3 to do install and sound check and go wait in the dressing room until the show time at like 8 at night. That's a typical day. But I do not have time to smart stuff. This is why I would like to have something in the wing like impulse response EQ, where I could just take a microphone, plug it in, say this is the source of paint noise, this is my other side of that system, which is a reference microphone, put that in front of a speaker, setting out volume, take a snapshot, take a impulse response EQ, insert that in the chain for like a monitor and call it a day. It will be awesome to do this. It's another plugin that I would like to see in the wing. Matching EQ, basically. On Logic, it's called matching EQ. I don't know if Wave have any option for like matching EQ like that, but I know that impulse response EQ capture can be applied to signal with almost no latency. Every guitar modeler that you guys seen or heard in your life is using impulse response matching EQ to match the sound of a speaker cabinet with a microphone in front of it. So if a guitar player can play with almost no latency with that on his signal chain, I'm pretty sure we can do the same thing on a console, having matching EQs or impulse response capture applied to a bus and have that like as a corrective EQ for or stuff. I'm pretty sure it can happen. I just don't know how much processing it needs. I don't know if the Wing still has processing available for that stuff. But this is a feature that I would like to see eventually. Okay, so last call. Lifting the flag. Last call, guys. Anything else that you want to talk about today? Before I go, it's around 3. I actually have some stuff to do, as always. But I have some lights to pick up for a venue that I'm working with. They've been fixed by the people over at Solo Tech, which is really, really close from my place. So I'm going to pick that up and go install those lights back in the roof. This is what I do as a technical director for that venue. I'm taking care of everything, all the maintenance, and taking care of the gear and everything for that room, and deliver and pick up lights to be fixed or repaired. So if you guys don't have any other questions or subject that we can talk about, that's going to be it for today. I know there's some latency with you guys in Europe. I know you get the feed a few seconds later, so I'll give you a few seconds. All that to say, if you are live with us, give this video a like. If you are not subscribed to the channel, well, you should. If you made it this far in the video, you should definitely subscribe. This is what I'm doing every Monday. Don't be afraid to share these live stream with people that you think could be interested, because apparently, and I was really surprised by that, not everybody get a notification about the live. I even had some people ask me when I was doing live show if I ever did a live show on the channel, because when you look at the channel from the YouTube page, you do not see the live. So some people are not aware that I'm doing live shows. So don't be afraid to share that with some people. It's going to help the channel to grow, and maybe we can include more people in the gang. Rob, thank you very much for being with us. You always are a reference. Thank you so much for helping out everybody in the chat. Andy, same thing for you. Thank you very much for being here. You help a lot of people too in the chat. Everybody else who is there with us and spend some time of their afternoon with us, thank you for being here. If you want to support the channel, become a member or a super member. I've explained that stuff already. It's just I need to get that stuff out of the way. If you have any video suggestion, as soon as the video is over, put that in the description. I will take a look at that and see where I'm heading with all, your suggestion for future video. And until the next one, I want you to please take care of yourself. I'll see you later. Have a good week.